in the early days of the pandemic, because we had limited hardcore data, we had tons of mathematical models.
Yeah.
I run mathematical models myself. Probably mine are among the worst. But mathematical models are wonderful. I love them. But they're a little bit like trying to have a sketch on a sketchbook, while real evidence is the Capella Sixtina. And somehow we thought that these little sketches could be sold as the Capella Sixtina, or if not Michelangelo, at least Botticelli. So they were not. And we were seriously misled. A mathematical model, unless you're really very serious and very tough with yourself, you can make it work and show you right all the time. Get the result that you want to see and the inference that you want to see.
Yeah.
So I think that we just depended a lot on that. Politicians and policymakers had no clue on what is a mathematical model and what is a randomized trial, for example. They were both weird scientists. The mathematical modelers were a bit more weird. They sounded a little bit more fancy. So maybe we should believe them rather than those who want to get more rigorous evidence. I'm doing some guesswork here.
Yeah, but there was a literature on this, John. So there was a paper in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences in 2020, actually, that the theme was policy contagion, right? One country copied another after another, and there's this element inside policy making. If you're a politician, you don't really, you look at the evidence, you're like, this is too complicated. It looks very risky no matter what I do. It's just easier, less risky if I just do what everyone else is doing, than if it all goes wrong, I can't be blamed.
Yeah.
Right. So you have a politician looking for a guru to tell them what to do. There's a groupthink among the gurus. People look at China and, oh gosh, it's January 2020 and they've solved the pandemic with a month lockdown. That idea, the mathematical models come out, the idea spreads among a relatively small group of people.
Yeah.
Who then tell the politicians, look, if you don't do this, you're going to kill 2 million people in the United States, 500,000 people in the UK, whatever the models say. And then they say, okay, if I don't do this, I'm going to get blamed for 2 million people dying. It's safer if I just do this. Even if it goes wrong, at least I did the right thing.
I think that you need to take into account the fact that in every democratic country you have people who say something and people who oppose that, but by definition. So the defensive approach is to just do the maximum, because in that way probably your opponents will have fewer opportunities to say that you didn't do what you were supposed to do. The second problem is that you can have scientists who know a lot, they're tremendously knowledgeable, or give the sense that they're tremendously knowledgeable in their science itself.
Right.
And scientists who are very reserved, very skeptical. John Ioannidis, most of my published research findings are wrong. I'm going to tell you about uncertainty. I don't really know. So, who is going to be more favored by a politician or a policymaker who wants to act right away? John Ioannidis, who doesn't know anything and he's an idiot? Forget it. I will take this guy who's science himself and he knows everything about science and society and public health, and he's our savior. So I think that it's unavoidable. Science, if you want to do it right, it takes some time.
Yeah.
It takes some thought.